They weren't just a rock band, they were a cultural earthquake. Here are the 10 reasons the Rolling Stones became truly iconic. Number 10. Their raw, unpolished attitude. From the beginning, the Rolling Stones separated themselves from the clean-cut image dominating British pop. Their attitude was loud, messy, unpredictable. And that's exactly why people connected with them. While other bands worried about appearing polite, the Stones embraced something closer to the truth of youth culture: rebellion, confusion, and the hunger to break the rules. Mick Jagger's swagger wasn't just a style, it became a symbol of liberation for fans who felt trapped in the expectations of the 60s. Keith Richards added a rugged aura that made the group feel untouchable, almost mythic. Together, they built an identity rooted in authenticity, where imperfection became power. This raw identity shaped not only their sound, but the entire ethos of rock for generations, making them feel alive, human, and unforgettable. The opposite of packaged pop. Number 9. The blues at the heart of everything. The Rolling Stones didn't just play the blues, they treated it like scripture. While many British bands flirted with blues influences, the Stones went all in, grounding their identity in the raw emotional depth of American blues legends. They studied Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, and Robert Johnson, not as trends, but as teachers. That devotion gave their music a timeless backbone, gritty guitar lines, haunting vocal phrasing, and a swing that carried both danger and soul. This foundation separated them from mainstream pop acts of the era and gave their sound an emotional weight few bands could match. Their commitment also helped introduce blues culture to a global audience, shaping musical tastes far beyond the UK. By embracing the genre's honesty and vulnerability, the Stones built a legacy rooted in depth, not fashion, a core reason they became icons rather than just stars. Number 8. Jagger-Richards, the legendary songwriting engine. What made the Rolling Stones unstoppable wasn't just talent. It was the chemistry of two opposites. Mick Jagger brought sharp instincts, showmanship, and lyrical insight. Keith Richards brought instinctive riffs, melodic grit, and a rebellious musical soul. Together, they formed one of the most powerful songwriting duos in history. Their songs weren't just catchy. They captured moods, fears, and desires that defined generations. From swagger-filled anthems to introspective ballads, they mastered emotional range without losing identity. Their partnership, sometimes turbulent, created a creative tension that sharpened their work instead of destroying it. This push and pull gave birth to classics that feel alive even today. Their dynamic transcended friendship, becoming the heartbeat of the band, and one of the pillars of rock music itself. Number 7. Reinventing themselves across decades. One reason the Rolling Stones became truly iconic is their ability to adapt without losing their soul. While many 60s bands remained locked in one era, the Stones evolved through changing musical landscapes. From blues rock beginnings to psychedelic experiments, gritty 70s swagger, polished 80s stadium anthems, and beyond. Each reinvention wasn't a trend-chasing move, but a natural extension of their restless creativity. They understood that survival in music meant embracing change, not resisting it. Yet no matter the era, their essence stayed intact. Raw energy, emotional honesty, and a rebellious pulse. This balance of evolution and authenticity kept them relevant long after many of their contemporaries faded. Their longevity didn't happen by accident. It came from fearless artistic curiosity. Number 6. Their legendary live performances. A Stones concert wasn't just a show, it was a cultural event, a ritual of energy, freedom, and pure rock electricity. Mick Jagger's athletic charisma, Keith Richards' effortless cool, and Charlie Watts' steady heartbeat created an atmosphere only they could deliver. They didn't perform at audiences. They performed with them, turning stadiums into living, breathing celebrations. Their live presence became so iconic that seeing the Stones became a life milestone for fans around the world. Even decades into their career, they kept performing with an intensity younger bands struggled to match. That stamina turned them into symbols of endurance and artistic passion. Their tours became legendary journeys that defined eras, proving that live music could be both spectacle and intimate connection. Number 5. Their influence. Across generations of musicians. Few bands have shaped as many artists as the Rolling Stones. From punk bands inspired by their rebellious aura to pop and rock acts borrowing their riffs and swagger, their fingerprints are everywhere. The Stones didn't just influence genres, they blurred them, giving future musicians permission to mix blues, rock, soul, and experimentation without fear. Their attitude encouraged generations to embrace imperfection, authenticity, and creative risk. Even artists outside rock, from hip-hop to indie, cite them as inspirations for their storytelling, rhythm, and fearless identity. Their legacy isn't just in their music, but in the musical DNA of countless performers who followed. Number 4. The iconic visual identity. Long before branding became a music industry science, the Rolling Stones mastered it with instinct. Their visual identity, from Jagger's unmistakable silhouette to the legendary tongue and lips logo, turned them into symbols recognizable in every corner of the world. But it wasn't just logos and photographs, it was the entire aesthetic. Their fashion choices, album covers, and stage designs captured the spirit of rebellion and sophistication. They didn't look like anyone else, and that uniqueness made them visually unforgettable. That consistency across decades helped elevate them from musicians to cultural icons whose imagery carries as much power as their songs. Number 3. Their ability to capture the spirit of rebellion. The Rolling Stones didn't create rebellion, but they understood it better than almost any band. Their music tapped into the frustrations and desires of youth, offering soundtracks for freedom, defiance, and individuality. Instead of preaching, they reflected what people were feeling. That connection made them cultural spokespersons for generations seeking identity. Songs like Street Fighting Man and Satisfaction weren't just hits. They were declarations of independence wrapped in irresistible grooves. Their fearless lyrical themes and swaggering delivery turned them into avatars of rock's untamed soul. Number 2. The power of their timeless catalog. The Stones' catalog isn't just large. It's emotionally rich, musically diverse, and filled with songs that have survived changing tastes. They mastered the art of writing tracks that felt urgent and modern, yet never tied to one moment. From ballads to explosive anthems, each song carried personality and character. That timelessness is why their music continues to find new audiences decade after decade. Great catalog sat great legacy, and theirs is one of the greatest ever assembled. Number 1. The unbreakable myth of the Rolling Stones. Above all, the Rolling Stones became iconic because they transcended the idea of a band. They became a myth, symbols of survival, rebellion, creativity, and authenticity. Their story, filled with triumphs, near collapses, reinventions, and unforgettable music, mirrors the evolution of modern culture itself. They stood the test of time, outlived expectations, and turned themselves into living legends. Their myth isn't exaggerated, it's earned. They weren't perfect, and that's exactly why the world loved them. The Rolling Stones didn't just shape rock history, they became it.